What is story of newly Chinese huge IPO in a chip market, and why gold Bitcoin surge as dollar face pressure, and why Trump threatens tougher Iran sanctions, and why global share market like Wall Street rebounds but weekly losses continue. These are major updates you never find on mainstream media. So watch this video till end. Chinese preparing a nearly 5 billion chip IPO, and this is much bigger than just a stock market story. China's flash memory giant YMTC, through its parent company CCSH, is planning to raise about 4.9 billion in a Shanghai IPO. Company is benefiting from huge demand for memory chips created by global AI boom. But the bigger story is China's race to build its own semiconductor industry. YMTC is one of the most Chinese key memory chip companies, and its growth comes while Chinese technology firms continue to face pressure from US restrictions. This means the IPO could give YMTC more money to spend production and research. In simple terms, China is trying to make sure that it does not depend too much on foreign companies for critical chips. And with AI, data centers, and advanced technology demanding more memory, the semiconductor industry is becoming one of the most important business battles in our world. China is not just buying technology anymore, it's trying to build technology itself. While investors are worried about America's debt and bond market, two assets are getting a lot of attention: gold and Bitcoin. Global financial market ended a difficult week yesterday. US Treasury yields remain high, rising concern about inflation, government debt, and borrowing cost. At the same time, the dollar weakening during the week, investors moved toward alternative assets, with gold reaching a 3-month high and Bitcoin recording one of the most and strongest weekly gains in a year. Reuters reported that Bitcoin gained nearly 20% during the week, while gold also climbed strongly. Important point is that investors are watching US bond market very closely. If government borrowing costs stay high, it can make stocks and other risk assets more expensive to hold. So this is not just simply a story about Bitcoin or gold going up, it's also a story about investors' confidence in a dollar, US debt, and the future direction of interest rates. When confidence in a traditional money gets weaker, investors start looking for something else to hold. Now we move on our third update. Trump threatens tougher Iran sanctions. Iran conflict may be turning into an even bigger economic war, and next battlefield could be global trade. Yesterday, tensions between US and Iran remain high. US President Donald Trump said Iran was not yet ready to make what he called the right deal, while Washington continued to push for stronger economic pressure. US officials have warned that USA could impose some of its toughest sanctions ever on Iran, and has also threatened countries that continue supporting Tehran. Iran, meanwhile, has warning it could respond strongly to new US pressure. The biggest concern for global market is the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for global oil shipments, and any serious disruption there could be push oil prices higher and create inflation pressure around the world. So Iran story is no longer about military or diplomatic tensions, it's directly connected to oil, inflation, trade, and global economy. The Iran conflict is becoming an economic battle, and whole world could pay the price. Now we talk about our last and most important global update. Wall Street bounced back yesterday, but don't to be fooled. The bigger story is that investors are still worried. US stock market recovered on Friday after a sharp sell-off in a massive previous sessions. The major index finished the day higher, but they still ended the week with losses. Investors were worried about high treasury yields, expensive oil, and uncertainty around the Iran conflict. Market is also entering an important period because investors are watching upcoming economic data, Federal Reserve signals, and major technology earnings. Europe also managed to rise on Friday, but its main index still recorded a weekly decline as high oil prices and Wall Street may have recovered from one day, but bigger market battle is still ongoing.